Good evening to one and all. A warm welcome to 60th International Workshop on Philosophy of John Stuart Mill for a Happy and Healthy Life. Day before yesterday, we celebrated World Philosophy Day. On this special occasion, it is a duty to recall a great philosopher and his contributions. Golden Jubilee Year of NEHU, May 2022 to May 2023 International Workshop Series. A series of 100 programs every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Look up, aim high, nation first, self next. Jointly organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC, Northeastern Hill University, NEHU, Shillong, Meghalaya, and Indian Society for Training and Development, ISTD, Shillong Chapter, Meghalaya, in collaboration with the Department of Philosophy and IQAC, MORAN College, affiliated to Dibrugarh University, MORANHAT, ASSAM, and Department of Philosophy, Sri Venkateswara University, SVU, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. A warm welcome to today's keynote speaker, collaborator, and my guru, Professor P. Chennai sir, Professor Prabhasankar Sukla sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, NEHU, Shillong, Professor Raja Reddy sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Dr. Nagarajasri Madam, Dr. Vijay Bhaskar sir, SVU Computer Center, Professor Mithali Kaur ma'am, Principal, Moran College, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Bhartakur sir, IQAC Coordinator, Moran College, Dr. Srutasini Gogoi Madam, Head Department of Philosophy and Workshop Coordinator, Moran College, Professor B.S. Nipun sir, Chairman, ISTD Shillong Chapter, Professor A.S. Dikshit sir, Director, IQAC NEHU Shillong. A warm welcome to all the participants as usual, our regular participants and new participants already joined and going to join. Professor Chennai sir taught me utilitarianism, John Stuart Mill, the year 2009-11, my MA philosophy days. Still, I remember, not only during that time, whenever time permits, always are interacting with me and sharing so many valuable things. Great philosophers, even their way of thinking, their way of life, everything is very, very useful for us in the present society. Professor Chennai sir, I'm requesting to provide a detailed keynote address on John Stuart Mill philosophy and his contribution for a happy and healthy life. Myself also, I'm going to present. With this, a warm welcome to all the participants. As usual, we start our program with Vande Mataram. Then immediately, I will request Professor Chennai sir to deliver keynote address. Over to Professor Chennai sir later.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sukhalam, Malayaja Sheetalam, Sasya Shyamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhrajyotsna Pulakitayita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
Thank you. I'm requesting Professor Chennai sir to deliver keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Respectable coordinator, Dr. Amaresh sir, who is the organizer for this program and who is actively organizing this program with excellent manner, and all the participants of the program. So in the world, we have a great people in the human existence for doing good things for human welfare. So we need light in the darkness. At the same time, we need great sayings, expressions for getting more enthusiasm and enlightenment for good way of living. In the world, we have a great philosophers. Many philosophers have contributed very nicely for the happiness of the world. So here we have a great philosopher, John Stuart Mill. He born in 1806, May 20th. He died in 7th May 1873. So he's a great philosopher. So he said, what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. That actions that are right in the proportion as they tend to promote happiness, wrong as they tend to produce the reverse of the happiness. If you are doing right things in the world, on the basis of your right things, you are going to get more happiness. Your happiness indicates your right things. If you have done any wrong things in the world, you may get more unhappiness. Your unhappiness indicates your wrong activities. So here, according to John Stuart Mill, happiness is the ultimate purpose. So he has given a theory. So John Stuart Mill believed in a moral theory called utilitarianism. It says that actions that lead to people's happiness are right and that those that lead to suffering are wrong. So if you are getting any unhappiness, unpleasantness, crisis, predicaments, all problems in the world, that means you are doing wrong things in the world. If you are very happy, pleasant, joyful, blissful, that indicates you are doing good things. So here, the life relating with happiness and unhappiness, good things and bad things. If you are going in the right direction, you may get more happiness. If you are going with a bad direction, you may get more unhappiness. So pleasure or happiness is the only thing that has natural intrinsic value. If any value is there, if the value has no happiness, that is not at all a happiness. The value should be a great content in that value, that happiness. Happiness is the most important. Actions that are right if they produce happiness, and wrong if they promote unhappiness. So here you are responsible for your actions. If you want to live happily, do right things. If you want to continue with a wrong way of life, you may do anything, no problem. So the present life depends upon your past actions. The future life depends upon present actions. Your actions are most important in the human life. If you are not doing any good things, that means you are going to take more bad consequences. So here in the life, in the society, we have to face many problems. Happiness is a pleasure of freedom from pain. So in the world, you have many problems. You have to free from all perplexities, complications, unpleasant things, predicaments, crises on the basis of awareness. So not only the relating with the quality of awareness, but every moment you should be very careful, living with a joyful manner, do always right things. So for getting happiness here, you should have a good mind. Good mind means good thoughts. So thoughts are free from harmfulness to others. While you are speaking, you have to speak very pleasantly. Speak truth. Speak truth which is pleasant. Speak, don't speak unpleasant truth. If you have no pleasant truth, if you have unpleasant truth, don't speak anything, because words are just like a powerful weapons. You have to take more care relating with your words in the relating with the life. So your actions, actions play a vital role for the destiny of your life. If you have done any crime or a murder or a dacoity or harmfulness or any injury to others, you are responsible for your actions. That's why be careful whatever you are doing. So here, John Stuart Mill is telling we may get more happiness through various types of activities. So intellectual activity. So myself and Amreswar and yourself, all the participants who are listening, we are knowing many things relating with the life, world, everything. We are getting some information, we are getting more inspiration through the words and the expressions of great people of the world. This is an intellectual activity. If you listen good words, we may get more happiness. If you have great knowledge relating with the life and society, you may get more happiness. So through intellectual activities, through learning, through education, through understanding, through awareness, through knowing good things, you may get more happiness. So intellectual way of outlook is the most important for getting more happiness. Another, we have another is aesthetic experiences. If you see beautiful places, the rivers, mountains and Himalayas, great rivers, beautiful forests, flowers, gardens, and various types of things. If you have a beautiful experience relating with nature, you may get more happiness. So if you have a beautiful people around you, you have a beautiful ideas around in his in your mind. If you have a visited many beautiful places, you may get more happiness. So here beauty creates happiness. So ethical values means following society, following goodness, following values, respecting people, respecting society. So all types of good things, if you follow very carefully, then you may get more happiness. So following moral values are one of the sources for getting. We may get happiness through intellectual activities, through organizing conferences, to listening good things, to talking good things, to know many things. This is also one of the way. Another way, visiting various types of places, having a conversation with the beautiful people, have a beautiful ideas relating with the life and society. At the same time, you have a purified mind. Your mind is free from all impurities. Your mind is just like a pure mirror. Then you may get more beautiful expression. You may get aesthetic experience through your mind. Through at the same time, if you are a right person relating with the moral values, you may get happiness. So here, through intellectual activity, through beautiful expressions and various types of moral principles, you may get happiness in the life. So here in the society, a person may cause evil to others notionally by the action, but his inaction, and in either case he is just justly accountable to them for the injury. Sometimes we may do harmful activities with a direct manner, with a violent manner. Sometimes we may do harmful activities with indirect manner. But if you do any action with a direct manner or indirect manner, you are responsible for the consequences. That's why be careful while you are moving with the thoughts or actions or the words relating with directly or indirectly. So if you have done any good things directly and indirectly, you may get more happiness. If you have contributed a lot for others with the indirect manner, then there is a danger. So here John Stuart Mill is telling, so relating with desires. So sometimes we may get fulfillment for the satisfaction of the desires. Sometimes if you have more desires, you have less resources. If your desires are not in a state of fulfillment, you may get frustration. So you may get a depression on the basis of frustration. So that's why, so here John Stuart Mill is telling, I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. So here you have a more desires, more ambitions, greeds, various types of plans relating with life. You have to understand your abilities. You have to say very carefully to your inner source whether you are eligible to fulfill or you are eligible to get more success. In this occasion, if you have a more desires, if they are not up to the mark or if they are not entitled for getting success, here John Stuart Mill is telling, reducing desires are most important. Living with a simple manner is the most important. You have a more desire, then there is a danger. Reduce your desires. Live with a simple manner. So here John Stuart Mill is telling, relating with the wars and the soldiers and the society. So war is a ugly thing. You may talk war in the name of patriotism, in the name of society, or in the name of many things. But you are operating wars for self-centeredness, for accumulation of money, many other things in the society. That's why any form of violence is not good. Any form of war is not appreciable. So if you are using soldiers and the military people or a society for the sake of war, for destroying people, it is not good. You may be responsible for all the consequences you are doing in the society. So here you are responsible for many other things. So here John Stuart Mill is saying, as long as we do not harm others, we should be free to think, speak, and live and act. So here, if you are doing good things in the society, you are not harming through your ideas, through your words, through your actions. You may get more safety in the society. If you have done harmful things in the society through your mind, thoughts, words, and actions, you may get you may get consequences on the basis of a relationship. The entire world is a eco-relationship. So here eco-relationship means you have done any harmful thing to the society, you may get in return near future or a far future or a immediate. So you are responsible for your actions. So everything is based on eco-relation. You have spoken very nicely to people. After some time, they may speak very nicely to you. So you are responsible for getting more pleasant happiness from others. So if you have done many harmful things, murder, criminal, dacoity, all types of harmful things in the society, if you have done many great crimes physically and mentally to destroy society in the world, so in return, very short period or a far period, you may get a more dangerous result from the sources. That's why here Stuart Mill is telling, you are responsible for your actions. So your thoughts, your words, your actions are seeds in the society. So you are swearing thoughts means you are sowing seeds. Your talking, your actions are seeds in the soil. That's why be careful. If you want to live very pleasantly in the society, watch your every moment, watch your thoughts, watch your movements, very careful manner. Otherwise, there is a danger for your life. So be careful, be watchful. So here, liberty lies in the rights of that person who views you find most of us so if you think others are very resourceful for us, we may get more freedom from them. So if you are a very helpful person for society, you may contribute a lot for society. You may get in return from society also. So here we have two types of desires relating with life. So here intellectual desires, here we are organizing seminars, discussions, degrees, teaching, learning, writing, doing research, sharing something. So this intellectual activities are called higher level of values. These are higher level of values, higher level of needs. These are very higher cadre. So higher cadre desires. So if you are expecting more pleasures for your body sensually, they are lower level values. So here you may have desires for achieving higher level or a lower level, but be careful of your desires. If you are inviting desire without taking more care, if your desire is not beyond your capacity, if your desire is very harmful to society and other things, if your desire is a very destructive for the humanity, you may get in return more bad consequences. That's why don't allow any desire, ambition, greed, which is not good for you and it is not good for society. Be careful, be filter your thoughts, be filter your desires, accept only limited desires. So on the basis of limited desires, you have to fulfill your desires with utmost satisfaction. Do always good things, then you will get more happiness. So he is telling genius can only breathe freely in not only this action example, but in the society, in the family, wherever we are doing, if they have full freedom, they may expose their creativity very excellent manner. So here, John Stuart Mill also telling, so for the development of the society, for the development of the intellectuals, we have to give more freedom. He's telling, relating with the genius, intellectual, wisdom-oriented people, so in the world, so the genius people are only minority. So apart from genius, the different categories of people are major in the society. So here genius people means who contributed a lot in the science and technology, in the science, in the humanity, in the religion, in the form of great achievements for human welfare, who contributed a lot for human happiness and pleasure. So many sites are there relating with the human development. Those who contributed for human welfare, those who contributed for world peace and integrity, those who contributed for science and technology, so and other different fields, they may be a genius and wisdom persons, they may be minor. But here John Stuart Mill is telling, they are very rare people, they are very protective people. So we have to encourage them, we have to protect their job, their life, their family, their moods. We have to respect them. If we protect the great genius, intellectual people, a inventive people, a creative people in the world, they may contribute a lot for human society. For on the basis of that we may get happiness in the society. That's why don't underestimate intellectuals, great people, wisdom people in the world. They are the flowers of the world. They are great contributors of the world. We have to protect their places, their life and everything very carefully. If you neglect their welfare, that is a destruction for our life. That's why no great improvement in the lot of mankind are possible until a great change take place in the fundamental constitution of their modes of thought. So he is telling all achievements are nothing but the result of human being thoughts. If you have a great thoughts, if you operate great thoughts, if you achieve great thoughts, you may get more successes. So if you want to get more happiness, simplicity, bliss, love, compassion, many other great feelings, you have to change your thought. If your thoughts are very dangerous in your mind, you won't get any happiness and pleasure. Your thoughts are nothing but your expressions in the life. That's why change your thought process, have a good thoughts, beautiful thoughts, then you may get more happiness in the world. So happiness comes from when there is a freedom from thoughts in the mind, when there is a purity in the mind. If you have no purity in the mind, you won't get any happiness. So here in the life, we have a different type of things. So here, John Stuart Mill is said about the universities. So he studied in the university. So he contributed a lot in the, just like Amareshwar and myself studying in the universities and doing things. So John Stuart Mill also worked in the university. So he said about the objective of universities is not to make skillful lawyers, physicians or engineers. It is to make capable and cultivated human beings. So here he is telling not only producing lawyers, physicians, engineers, and the technical people. A people have a capacity. A people have a good mind, a good heart, a good integrated people. The function of university is you produce the technicians and the engineers, doctors, medical people, all the people. At the same time, produce good human beings, love, affection, tenderness, friendship. So in the social sciences and the humanities and subjects based on human compassion, human togetherness, human integration, that thing should be there. So here, the John Stuart Mill is telling the love of power and the love of freedom are in eternal antagonism. So here love of power and love of freedom. So here we have experienced the world wars, the all violences in the family, in the society, in the country, in the world. Almost thousands of wars experienced human society, human world because of love of power. So where there is a love of power, there we find a desire for craving, a desire for domination, desire for more expectation of power, money, position, everything. Where there is a craving for power, there is a destruction. So all world wars are occurred because of the desire for craving. So love for power is a very dangerous thing in the human being's existence. So it may contribute a lot for human destruction. So love for power, this is a political affair. So because of getting more power, they may kill, they may destroy, they may start wars and everything. So here we have another expression, love for freedom. So it is a very good thing. There is a antagonism, there is a conflict, there is a violence, there is a division, there is a opposition between love of power and love of freedom. We need freedom. If you have a freedom, we may love, we may get more friendship, we may get understanding, we may get cooperation, everything. So, love for freedom. Freedom from the known, freedom from the problems, freedom from unhappiness, freedom from all illusions and hallucinations, freedom from wars, everything. So if you have a freedom, we may live very pleasantly. For the small seed also, it needs freedom to sprout. In the same manner, human being needs freedom in the physical sense, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in the sociologically, politically, in the all levels, human being needs more freedom. So freedom is an essential thing for human existence. That's why love for power, love for freedom. So these are eternal conflicts, antagonism in the society. So here, John Stuart Mill is telling, if you are doing wrong things, you may get unhappiness. If you are getting happiness, that means you are doing good things. You may get happiness through good things, good mind, good heart. If you have done any intellectual activity, you may get happiness. You have experienced beautiful things in the world, you may get happiness. If you are following moral values, good behavior, everything, you may get happiness. If you are following the law of action, that means directly and indirectly, if you have done any harmful things in the society, you may get bad results on the basis of your actions. If you have done very good things, you may get honors, pleasantness, everything. So you have to follow law of action. Your actions are most important for your happiness and unhappiness. So the university should produce good technicians, engineers, doctors, at the same time human beings. We have to protect in the world the intellectual class, the genius, the wisdom people in the world, because they are the leaders of the society. They are the persons who are contributing lead for to solving all the problems. So have a pure mind, respect nature, respect human beings, have a good thought, good word, good action, then your life will be very happy. I concluded this speech, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. A wonderful keynote address. Now I'm requesting our noble participants to interact with Professor Chennai, sir. Over to the participants. Hema madam and Pavan sir. Sushila madam. Dr. Sushila madam. Hema madam, are you there? Pavan sir, you can also start, no problem. Pavan sir?
Venkatrao garu is available, Amresh sir.
No, sir.
Just now arrived.
No, sir. No, sir. Professor Venkatrao sir is available, but his while audio is not visible, sir. Icon. Maybe network issue for them.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Pavan sir?
So,
Anyone?
okay, Amresh sir, you start the questions.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, what is the main concept of this utilitarianism and the John Stuart Mill contribution to philosophy, sir?
So actually, here in the human being as a, what do you mean by human being? Human being is a living machine. Human being as a body, he has a systems. Human being as a mind. Human being as a heart for feelings. Human being as a soul. But in the human being life, human beings are facing pleasantness and unpleasantness, happiness and unhappiness. So here the utilitarianism theory, moral theory, the utilitarianism of John Stuart Mill is telling, if human beings are good, happy, pleasant, joyful in the society, that indicates that they are doing good things. If any world in the society, in the country, people are unhappy, relating with the relations and everything, that means they are not doing good things. So here this theory says that if you are doing good things, you may get more happiness. If you are doing bad things, you may get more unhappiness. So the happiness indicates right behavior of the people. The unhappiness indicates the wrong behavior of the people. That's why action plays vital role for happiness and unhappiness. He's cautioning you should be very careful while you are talking, while you are moving, while you are doing. Be careful while you are moving in the darkness. Have a torchlight, have a lamp as a light to say what are the things available, where you are going. In the same manner, watch your thoughts, watch your words, watch your actions. Otherwise, your thoughts, your words, your actions may contribute a unhappiness to you. That's why these two things are happening because of right things and wrong things, happiness and unhappy things. So you are responsible for your happiness, but be careful, be watchful. If you are missing watching means you are going to wrong direction. If you are having more awareness relating with your thoughts, feelings and action, that means your watching is a light, your watching is a intelligence, your watching is a wisdom, your watching is a awareness. It creates caution. So in the tropic, in the cities, while we are driving, in the tropic island, sometimes we may see red light, green light, yellow light. So that light indicates if red light is there, you have to stop here. So the green light is there, you are welcome, you are free to move. In the same manner, here John Stuart Mill is telling, you are going with a wrong direction for war, for violence, for unhappiness, for corruption, for destructive things. That means you are violating the red light. You are violating the law of utilitarianism or the law of action. If you are going in the wrong direction means very shortly you are going to face bad consequences, unhappiness. So you are following the yellow light. So you are moving very carefully. If you are going in the gentle manner, you are using compassion, love, friendship, understanding, cooperation, helpfulness, you have no more desires, you are living with a simple manner, if you are talking very pleasantly, if you are helping with the people with a nice manner without expectation, if you are going in the direction, you may get more happiness, because here he is telling the entire life is a eco relationship. What do you mean by eco relationship? If you have gone to any forest, if you find in a cave, if you say, I have come here to give you breakfast, it may say, I am also come from here to give a breakfast. So I kill you. It same reaction. I kill you, I love you. It may say, I love you. So same. So if you are exposing good thoughts in the society, good words in the people, good actions in the society, the same relation, the echo relation will come from people. That's why have carefulness relating with thoughts, feelings, ideas. Do good things. You are responsible for your good behavior and bad behavior, your happiness and unhappiness. This we find the essence in the utilitarianism, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The echo example you told during my PG days, sir. Still, I remember.
Yes.
Thank you,
So
sir.
here, this is a most important thing in the life.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
anybody?
sir. Professor Venkatrao, sir. Now, yes.
Sir.
Welcome, sir. Sir, please.
Welcome, Venkatrao.
Hello, sir. Namaste, sir.
Welcome.
Yesterday we conducted a World Philosophy Day, sir. in Andhra University.
Yes, here also we organized, yesterday we organized World Philosophy Day in the webinar. Congratulations for organizing as head of the department on the Andhra University. You are a
Our
very
Vice
nice
Chancellor-
person.
Our Vice
Congratulations to
Chancellor
you.
is the chief
But
guest.
Congratulations. So yesterday evening also, we also organized yesterday World Philosophy Day in the webinar. I have talked about Socrates and the great philosophers of the world. So here the Chinese philosopher, the Confucius and the Lao Tzu, they said about the world peace. John Dewey, many great Abraham Lincoln and John Kennedy. So many great philosophers of the world. So many things we have shared yesterday on the occasion of World Philosophy Day. So congratulations to you. Share something, Venkatrao garu.
Regarding the utilitarianism gives a challenge to the morals.
No challenge, because utilitarianism is telling two aspects. One is if you are going with the right direction, means happy, good, lovely, with the right manner, following good things, you are means. So here the two indications are there. One indication is happiness, another unhappiness. The indication of happiness is you are doing good things, your words, your thoughts, your actions, your behavior, your life is a good. That means you are living in the goodness, happiness. So here another indication is unhappiness. You are going in the wrong direction, you are doing bad things, your life is not good, your actions are not good, your words are not. On the basis of that, you are unhappiness. So here in the utilitarianism, it says two aspects: the right and wrong, goodness and badness, happiness and unhappiness. Happiness means you are going in the right direction in the life. Your actions are good, your life is good, your behavior is good. If you are unhappy, your behavior is not good, your actions are not good, your moods are not good. So this is the standpoint we find in the utilitarianism, Venkatrao garu.
So this is very useful for the happiness of the individual, but at the same time, another side of the coin, as an individual, every time we think different. But innate ideas, what the psychological aspects of this individual is always think some benefit, some utility from other side. He expects something from the any kind of work, or any kind of action, or any kind of livelihood. This is the basic component, because the utilitarianism is the one factor. It is more useful for the individual development, but at the same time very dangerous to the common good.
So it is another utilitarianism. It is not relating with what you are telling, is not relating with John Stuart Mill, but it is another. This is called egoistic utilitarianism. You are telling it is true, but here the entire Indian philosophy, the world philosophy essence we find in the John Stuart Mill. So here in the Indian philosophy said, if you have do good things, you may get happiness. If you are doing bad things, you may get happiness in the individual sense and in the social sense. But here in the John Stuart Mill is telling, so for getting happiness, if you are intellectually good, if you are aesthetically valid, if you are morally good, he said how to get happiness. But what you are telling also good. He mentioned these things also. If you are using in the individual level for a self-centered manner, you are ready to face bad consequences, you may get unhappiness. But for the individual sense and the society sense, if you are going in the right sense, you may get happiness. In the individual sense, in the society sense, if you are going in the wrong direction, you are responsible. But he is telling the good things and bad things clearly, individual level, social level, psychological, aesthetics, moral and everything. But he has thrown all the things. You are responsible for total your life. Venkatrao garu, share something.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir. We understand everything.
Hello, Namaste, sir.
It is a beauty. He's a very beautiful philosopher, but he born in a different country. But we find the great classic Indian philosophy content in his theory. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you see the total philosophy, we find this type of content. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. After gap, nicely.
Hello, namaste, sir.
Pavan sir, please
Hello,
continue,
namaste,
sir.
sir. Okay, sir. Your
Please continue, sir.
okay, sir. Your explanation very good. This philosophy is the end of that before our 19th century, that foreign countries, and our country is end of 15th century. 15th century is end of this philosophy. But current now, I'm asking about that what is Stuart Mill contentment, Stuart Mill philosophy, or all philosophers content thoughts way that physiological aptitude no not maintains normative scientifically, then how can that happy or unhappy that relation of way of living life? Explain your own words. Nowadays, our colleague
And so you see in the question paper, a question paper setter should not write paragraphs or sentences or passages for writing anything. That is a different type of. So for setting any question paper, you have to ask one single question, single sentence, any affirmative sentence or a statement or a interrogative sentence. If you say any paragraph or anything, that is not a question, that is a speech. So here you have to ask, because we have to ask any questions on the basis of syllabus. We have to ask anything on the basis of subject. In the same manner, you have to ask very clearly. So here subject is John Stuart Mill.
okay, sir, I'm asking.
Is the philosopher.
Okay, sir,
You have to ask one single question. Single, you have to say
okay, sir.
one sentence, very clear and not no ambiguity. So if you ask a very clear question, that may be enjoyable for answering, for listening others also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, ask a question.
What is Delphi hypnosis emotion philosophy? What is emotion Delphi hypnosis philosophy is differences, then leads to what, sir?
Huh?
What is
What is?
physiological?
It is a out of syllabus question. It is a out of syllabus question. I want to answer for out of syllabus questions
Yes,
in the webinar.
sir.
You have to connect with the front.
Okay, sir. What is
If you ask questions and out of subject or out of syllabus, I won't answer here. You have to ask syllabus.
okay, sir?
What is?
Liberal?
You-
What is democratic? What is democratic normative sciences philosophy? What is democratic?
It is a out of syllabus.
Oh, sir, philosophy, yeah.
So your question is not relating with subject.
Sir, that
Your
is,
question is not relating with the subject. Your question is not related.
okay.
See here, subject is a John Stuart Mill.
Democratic and
Here
liberal
there is no
liberty.
democracy.
Okay, sir. Nowadays, sir.
Here-
Nowadays.
Here there is no normative science. I know democracy. I know normative science. If you start 1,050 questions, I answer continuously. What do you mean that? Human being.
I ask me, sir. That is nowadays. That is more any aspirants.
You have to ask questions directly. First, you as a part ask directly the subject.
Okay. What is unhappy? What is happy? That,
Okay.
how
Okay. This.
can-
Okay.
how can
It is
God-
closed. See, it is a closed. Don't say any explanation. If you are explaining, that means you are telling answer. Why should I give any answer to answers? If you say any question, I may give answer. So you said happiness and unhappiness. This is a central content in the John Stuart Mill philosophy. John Stuart Mill philosophy. That means happiness and unhappiness. If you are going with a right direction means if your thoughts are good, your actions are good, your moods are good, your behavior is good, your behavior is not harmful to the society, you are going with the right direction, all activities are good, you may get happiness according to John Stuart Mill. Unhappiness, so if you are doing harmful things, you are talking negatively, you are doing harmfully, killing, murdering, corrupting, destroying, all types of harmful things, that indicates you are getting unhappiness. So here John Stuart Mill is telling, if you are intellectually doing good things with a pure mind, you may get happiness. If you have seen beautiful things in the world, you may get happiness. If you are following moral values with the right manner, you may get happiness. But relating with unhappiness, if you are violating, if you are doing wrongful things, immoral things, destructive things, corruptive things, harmful things in the society, you may get unhappiness. If you are living in the unpleasant environment, destructive environment, polluted environment, dangerous environment in the nature, you may get unhappiness. If your mind is not good, you have no good thoughts, then you may get unhappiness. So here the relating with John Stuart Mill, do good things, you will get happiness. If you do bad things, you may get unhappiness. So you are responsible for your goodness and badness. Always be careful while you are doing all your activities. You are responsible for your happiness and unhappiness. If you have a wisdom, you have awareness, you may see things. If you operate your wisdom, awareness, you may do good things, you may get happiness. If you are not using your awareness, intelligence, then you may do harmful things, you may get unhappiness. I have given some clear understanding relating with happy and unhappy. So this is the right question you have asked. So we appreciate your mood, but I am telling, so in future also, you listen the subject, on the basis of subject, you coin a beautiful sentence, then the question will be very beautiful. I may give beautiful answers. Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nice answer.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. This emotions, sir.
Hello.
Sir, these emotions, not satisfy our body.
Yes, I have said you are not listen.
Self-soul
So
feeling
here,
not satisfying.
so that means you are going wrong direction. You are not following. You are not maintaining your inner condition. That means you are prone to unhappiness. That's why here the John Stuart Mill is telling, human being means you have a body, you have a body passions, you have a heart, emotions, you have a mind, thoughts, you have a soul. But your soul has a consciousness. You have to observe your emotions. If you start emotions, jealousy, hatred, misunderstanding, worry, sadness, all types of things, you may get more bad things. That's why watch your emotions, watch your thoughts, control your emotions, use your awareness, then you will be very happy. This thing we find in the John Stuart philosophy. Amresh sir.
Yes, sir. Rightly understood. Any other? Hema madam, Medanpudi, Hema madam.
So Hema Gari is available?
Available, sir, but I don't know, not audible.
So network some problem.
Good evening, sir.
Please.
Somraj, research scholar, tell me.
Yeah, sir, good evening. Sir, I have been hearing your talk from the beginning. You are telling, sir, that we will need to reduce our desires, then we get more happiness. Can we connect that with our Indian thought of Buddhism, sir?
So you see,
Yes,
so Buddhism is not a single sentence. It needs more things. So for questioning, so you tell about America means America is not a word. It has many things.
Yeah,
Buddhism is not a single. It has many things.
Buddha says,
So
desire is.
You have to understand the subject. So you have to ask one straight question. So if you tell about, hello,
Buddha is
Somraj.
Yes, sir. Buddha says desire is that
So
distraction.
you have to talk. You have to talk John Stuart Mill.
Yeah.
You have to talk John Stuart Mill. This is not a Buddha program. So you have to follow the syllabus, the subject, because you may ask anything. If you are a subject expert in the interview, you may ask anything. But here it is relating with the
Stuart
subject
Mill,
and
yes.
syllabus. If I ask, if I give any question with out of syllabus, the students may not answer. Here the condition is the great philosophy, John Stuart Mill. You have to connect with your question with John Stuart Mill. I may answer for anything, any issue in the world. That is a different. But the subject is a John Stuart Mill. You have to connect your question for Mill. Then I may give answer. So I may be expert. I have given many talks on Buddhism. That is a different. But here in the occasion, you have to ask question for the subject. Ask question, Somraj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That only just my one.
What is your question?
Yeah, that only, sir. That only just. I just wanted to make a comparative understanding of J.S. Mill and Buddha's thought. Okay, sir. It's okay. No problem. I can do it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So you see, you have come for a lunch for 15 minutes. So if I serve for America, Russia, and 240 items, is it possible to eat for 15 minutes?
No,
So
sir,
here
no.
you have to. Because we have given 15 minutes time for a lunch break.
Yes.
You have served for 10 countries of foods. Is it possible to eat for 15 minutes for 250 items? So here our item is, why should we connect with anybody? It is not a PhD viva. It is not a expert program relating with it. You have to ask question with John Stuart Mill. So I may give answers, but here time won't permit to talk about this. I may have 2 or 3 minutes time for another.
Yes, sir.
You have to ask directly. So you have to ask because if you have listened anything relating with John Stuart Mill, you ask one question.
Yes, sir.
So what are the contents you have in the Buddhism? You may connect for John Stuart Mill also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just how can we know that our thoughts are right?
How can I know?
Our thoughts are right direction going. Is it the result that I have a happiness?
Your question is not clear. Your question is not clear.
Somaraju sir is asking, suppose he is thinking something, how he can assess whether his thoughts are going in a right direction or thoughts are right?
So according to John Stuart Mill,
yes, sir.
If you are wrong, so I may connect this question to John Stuart philosophy.
Yes,
if your thoughts are not good, your actions are not good, your words are not good, that means that indicates that you are shortly get unhappiness. If your thoughts are good, your actions are good, your words are good, you may get happiness. So your happiness and your unhappiness indicate your state of mind. If your state of mind is a good condition, you may get happiness. If your state of mind is a bad condition, you may get unhappiness. Your state of mind indicates either happiness and unhappiness. So if you are unhappy, you have to decide your mind is not good. If you are happy, you have to decide your mind is good. This is the sense of Somraj.
Thank you, sir.
Are you listening?
Thank you.
Somraj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
So I invite questions, but I have to share how to ask.
Any other? Dr. Sushila madam, Dr. Emma madam, Yamalata Gupta madam. Okay, I think because of network issue, they are unable to interact, sir. Thank you very much. With your permission, may I go for presentation, sir?
Please, Amresh, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Who is speaking, Amresh, sir?
No one, sir.
Okay, Ivy is in the line.
Sir,
I Subramaniam is in the line.
No, sir. No, sir. I think they joined in YouTube.
Okay, Amresh, sir. Please move.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to Professor Chennai sir and noble participants. Philosophy of John Stuart Mill for a happy and healthy life. Professor Chennai sir rightly mentioned what is the root cause for happiness and what to do, what not to do. So here the outline of my presentation, introduction, learning outcome and conclusion explore the philosophy of John Stuart Mill for a happy and healthy life. So here, what Somaraju sir rightly pointed out, Lord Buddha, it is not possible to say only within a word or within a day about the Buddhist philosophy. So, but we are always correlating how the utilitarianism of John Stuart Mill happiness definition. That's why Somaraju sir, I think he tried to correlate Buddhism and Buddha also says the same thing. So, how to let go in life and be happy, Lord Buddha?
Once upon a time, two Buddhist monks were traveling through a forest to reach from one place to another. One of them was a senior monk and another was a junior monk. They were walking peacefully and with calm mind to reach their destination. At one point, they came across a river with a strong current of water. To continue their journey, they would need to swim through the river and cross to the other side. As the two monks were preparing to cross the river, they saw that a very young and a very beautiful woman was sitting at the bank of the river. She did not know how to swim and requested the two monks to carry her on their back to the other side of the river. Buddhist monks take a vow of celibacy. They are not supposed to even look at a woman. The two monks glanced at each other because they had taken vow not to touch a woman. They both thought for a moment. The junior monk politely refused. Then, without saying a word, the older monk went ahead and picked up the woman on his back. He carried her across the river, placed her gently on the other side of the river, and started walking to carry on his journey. The younger monk could not believe what has just happened. After rejoining his companion, he was speechless. Without saying a word, the junior monk was shocked at the behavior of his fellow monk. He could not stop thinking about how his fellow monk had broken his vow by touching a woman. They kept walking through the forest for an hour or so without a word between them. 2 more hours passed, then 3. Finally, the younger monk could not contain himself any longer and asked the senior monk, "Can I ask you a question?" The senior monk said, "Sure, go ahead." The junior monk said, "I have been thinking about what you did at the river." The senior monk said, "What did I do?" The junior monk said, "You broke your vow to Buddhism when you touched the woman while carrying her across the river and dropping her on the other side of the river." He continued saying to senior monk, "As monks, we are not permitted to even touch a woman. How could you then carry that woman on your back for so long?" The senior monk laughed and said, "I dropped that woman on the bank of the river a long time ago. However, it seems that you are still carrying her around in your head." This Buddhist Zen story has a simple and a beautiful message in it for us. A message about living in the present moment. How many times in our lives we are upset about things that has happened in the past. We all go through experience of guilt, regret, anger, frustration, or any other negative emotion in our life. We carry on those hurts and resentment in our mind, but we forget that we cannot change the past no matter how long we carry on those thoughts in our mind. It will only cause us grief and suffering like that junior monk. On the other hand, that senior monk carried the woman across the river. Then he dropped the woman, and with it, he also dropped all the emotional baggage of that event in the past and moved on to the next. Similarly, we can also cure this suffering easily by choosing to let go of what has happened in the past and concentrate on the present moment. This is Words of Wisdom Stories.
Very
Thanks for
nice
watching.
video. So in general, we are also doing the same thing. Sometimes we are unable to forget what happened in the past and are thinking about the future and forgetting about the present. Present is always true. Professor Chennai sir also mentioned many times. Truth of life, one of the hardest lesson in life is. This one also from the Buddhist philosophy. Lord Buddha mentioned a n number of things.
We are not given a good life or bad life. We are given a life. It is up to us to make it good or bad. Life is short. Spend it with people who makes you laugh and feel loved. Life is ironic. It takes sadness to know happiness, noise to appreciate silence, and absence to value presence. Pain makes you stronger, fear makes you braver, heartbreak makes you wiser. So thank the past for a better future. The art of being happy is to be satisfied with what you have. Happy are those who take life day by day, complain very little, and are thankful for the little things in their life. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. Listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. If you don't care about what people think, you already passed the first step of success. There are two types of pain in this world: pain that hurts you and pain that changes you. When the wrong people leave your life, the right things start to happen. Overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. Never force anything, just let it be. If it is meant to be, it will be. Without struggle, success has no value. Not everyone will understand your journey. Just be yourself and carry on. Never lose faith in yourself. You can do anything in this universe. If you want to be successful, you must respect one rule: never lie to yourself. Life is a circle of happiness, sadness, hard times and good times. If you are going through hard times, have faith that good times are on the way. Believe in yourself, and no one and nothing can stop you. Success is not key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. Ardently do today what must be done. Who knows, tomorrow death comes. Delight in meditation and solitude. Compose yourself, be happy. You are a seeker. Even as a solid rock is unshaken by the wind, so are the wise, unshaken by praise or blame. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Work out your own salvation. Do not depend on others. Even death is not feared by one who has lived wisely. We must be diligent today. To wait until tomorrow is too late. Death comes unexpectedly. How can we bargain with it? Life is uncertain. Death is certain. Worrying does not take away tomorrow's trouble. It takes away today's peace. Just breathe. You are strong enough to handle your challenge, wise enough to find solutions to your problems, and capable enough to do whatever needs to be done. If you truly want to change yourself, you first must be willing to change your mind. One of the hardest lessons in life is letting go, whether it is guilt, anger, love, loss, or betrayal. Change is never easy. We fight to hold on and we fight to let go. When you let go, you create space for better things to enter your life. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. However many holy words you read, however many you speak, what good will they do if you do not act upon them? If you are facing in right direction, all you need to do is keep on walking.
Right. Very nice videos. Already Professor Chennai sir rightly mentioned about the John Stuart Mill, born on May 20th, 1806, London, England, and died on May 8, 1873, France. Here, what does John Stuart Mill say about utilitarianism? And Professor Venkateswara sir asked about utilitarianism. Professor Chennai sir rightly mentioned about utilitarianism of John Stuart Mill. Here, Mill defines utilitarianism as a theory based on the principle that actions are right in proportion as they tend to promote happiness, wrong as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness. It means if you are doing a right actions, you will get a positive, good happiness. If bad, that's why just like a karma, theory of karma in our Hindu philosophy also, the same wrongly as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness. So Mill defines happiness as pleasure and the absence of pain. So very nicely defined. Next. What kind of utilitarianism is John Stuart Mill? Here there are different types of utilitarianism. Professor Chennai sir mentioned the ethical theory of John Stuart Mill, 1806 to 1873. Here the life period is most extensively articulated in his classical text Utilitarianism. It was published in 1861. Its goal is to justify the utilitarian principle as the foundation of morals. This principle says actions are right in proportion as they tend to promote overall human happiness. So there is a strong positive correlation between right actions and happiness. If you are expecting to be happy by yourself, better to do right actions, good actions. There is no alternative way. So here there is one nice video, Utilitarianism of John Stuart Mill.
John Stuart Mill's Utilitarianism is a classic defense of utilitarian ethics, published between 1861 and 1863. Mill sought to popularize and defend the modern utilitarianism that his teacher, Jeremy Bentham, had founded. Utilitarians maintain that you can judge whether an action is morally right or wrong by the amount of net pleasure or pain it produces. Mill says that all action is for the sake of some end, and rules of action, it seems natural to suppose, must take their whole character and colour from the end to which they are subservient. To understand what we should do morally, we should know how to judge our actions. And Mill says that actions are right in proportion as they tend to promote happiness, wrong as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness. By happiness is intended pleasure and the absence of pain, by unhappiness, pain and the privation of pleasure. Mill spends a lot of the book defending utilitarianism against the claim that it is wrong to reduce all ethical problems to the question of pleasure. Before Mill, Bentham believed that pleasure could be quantified mathematically, so that moral judgments could be made based on how much pleasure or pain an act would produce. He formulated the felicific calculus, or hedonistic calculus. The amount of pleasure derived from an act could be measured by variables like intensity, duration, certainty of the pleasure happening, propinquity, or how far away that pleasure will be, fecundity, the probability of more pleasure of the same kind, purity, the guarantee that ill effects won't be felt, and extent, or the amount of people that will be affected. Bentham thought that policymakers could legislate according to how much societal pleasure would be produced, but he was criticized for reducing human experience to simple pleasures. His critics called utilitarianism a pig philosophy, suggesting that Bentham's logic predicts that people would sit around eating or chasing base pleasures all day. The problem was that Bentham had said that quantity of pleasure being equal, pushpin, a popular children's game at the time, is as good as poetry. The contemporary philosopher Roger Crisp gives the example of Haydn and the oyster to illustrate the problem. In Crisp's story, you are a soul in heaven before you're born, waiting to be allocated a life. The angel says that you can be the great, cheerful and popular composer Joseph Haydn, or an oyster that experiences mild pleasure, like floating in a warm bath. You choose Haydn, and the angel sighs, bemoaning that he'll never get rid of the oyster. Look, he says, I'll offer you a deal. Haydn will die at 77, but the oyster will live as long as you want. This poses a problem for the utilitarian. No matter how much pleasure is derived from being Joseph Haydn, if the oyster lives forever, at some point the amount of pleasure it has experienced will have surpassed that of Haydn, yet almost all would still choose the life of Haydn. Mill's answer to the problem is that some pleasures are intrinsically more valuable than others, and that once we are aware of certain higher pleasures, we won't be happy to leave them uncultivated. He wrote that it is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied, better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied, and if the fool or the pig is of a different opinion, it is only because they only know their own side of the question. Characteristically, Mill then lays out a principle to differentiate between higher and lower pleasures. A pleasure is a higher pleasure if it would be chosen over another pleasure, even if it was accompanied by discomfort, and if it would not be traded with a higher quantity of the other pleasure. Mill says that it is an unquestionable fact that those who are equally acquainted with and equally capable of appreciating and enjoying both do give a most marked preference to the manner of existence which employs their higher faculties. Few human creatures would consent to being changed into any of the lower animals for a promise of the fullest allowance of a beast's pleasures. No intelligent human being would consent to being a fool. No instructed person would be an ignoramus. No person of feeling and conscience would be selfish and base, even though they should be persuaded that the fool, the dunce, or the rascal is better satisfied with his lot than they are with theirs. Some pleasures, Mill said, are incomparable, but critics said that some people choose lower over higher pleasures, or give up certain pleasures altogether. To this, Mill says that yes, some people, like ascetics, will give up a life of happiness willingly, but that they do this for a greater end, the happiness of others or God. So utilitarianism is a moral standard for judging the happiness of all people, not just each single person. Mill argues that people do desire things like virtue as well as happiness, but that virtue is a part of the abstract whole of happiness. Mill's utilitarianism has been criticized for being elitist. Who's to say I wouldn't choose a life of endless chocolate cake over a life of being Joseph Haydn? And utilitarianism in general has been criticized as justifying the murder of one person if it maintained the happiness of two. But Mill would say that utilitarianism is more subtle than that. A society that isn't sure whether one of its members could be murdered at any time by the government just for the sake of another's happiness would surely be a less happy society than the one where everyone is protected. Ursula K. Le Guin's short story, Those Who Walk Away from Omelas, depicts a city where everyone is happy, healthy, and rich. She asked the reader to imagine their own perfect city. Omelas sounds, in my words, like a city in a fairy tale, long ago and far away, once upon a time. Perhaps it would be best if you imagined it as your own fancy bids, assuming it will rise to the occasion, for certainly I cannot suit you all. But the success of this fairy tale city depends on one child living in a dungeon in perpetual filth, darkness, and misery. And when each citizen of Omelas is of age, they have to see this child, but show it no love, and consent to its continued life of misery for the sake of the happiness of the rest of the city. Le Guin's story ends by describing those who forsake the city when they see the child. The place they go towards is a place even less imaginable to most of us than the city of happiness. I cannot describe it at all. It is possible that it does not exist, but they seem to know where they are going, the ones who walk away from Omelas. And while Le Guin's short story is a powerful attack on the problems of utilitarianism, it is not an attack Mill would agree with, as his two most famous works, Utilitarianism and On Liberty, are an attempt together to show that the first principle of utility is the protection of the rights of all. If you like these videos and would like to support me making
utilitarianism, ask yourself whether you are happy, and you here says to be so. Even Osho also told the same thing. Nothing to do or nothing to avoid to do. It is your duty to be, decide yourself to be happy. So only it is according to psychology also, and the psychologist, the state of mind. Here John Stuart Mill, truth gains more even by the errors of one who, with due study and preparation, thinks for himself than by the true opinions of those who only hold them because they do not suffer themselves to think. So if you see the writings of John Stuart Mill, is an extraordinary thinker and critical thinker, rational thinker. The philosophy of reasoning, here see, to be complete or to comprise the theory of bad as well as good reasoning. The only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. His own good, either physical or moral, is not sufficient warrant. So Professor Chennai sir again and again mentioned while giving answer to Pawan sir, the right thinking. It is our duty, not only thinking, even our actions also always in the right way. Although it is not true that all conservatives are stupid people, it is true that most stupid people are conservative. I don't know why John Stuart Mill told. Maybe at the end we can ask Professor Chennai sir is the right person to answer this one. Even I tried to understand, but why these conservatives, stupid people are more conservative? A person may cause evil to other not only by his actions but by his inaction. and in either case, he is justly accountable to them for the injury. Next Saturday, yesterday we discussed, myself and Professor Chennai sir, to organize a program on Martin Luther King Jr. Even he said the same thing. The silence of intellectuals is more danger for society than the others. Maybe non-ethical or unethical people. So silence is not good. Those who are wise people, it is better to raise their voice. I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. Maybe thoughts will come, desires will come, n number of desires. It is better. The Buddha also mentioned it is your duty to meditate and filter your thoughts. Professor Chennai sir always mentioning, and he mentioned to me, watch your thought moment to moment. When you watch, so one maybe everything maybe disappear. So without watching, whatever thoughts are coming, those people are doing any mistake or murder. In New Delhi case, a person killed her own life, supposed to become a life partner, living together into 35 pieces. It shows because the thought came without filtering, without observing, he implemented. That's why these type of actions are taking place. The only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing our own goods in our own way, so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs or impede their effort to obtain it. One person with a belief is equal to 99 who have only interest. So it means belief is very, very important. One person with a belief is equal to 99 who have only interests. So believe on yourself, believe on God. Those who don't have belief on God, at least you can believe on your true capabilities, on your true self. Men do not desire merely to be rich, but to be richer than other men. So it is happening in general. It is not because men's desire are strong that they act ill. It is because their consciences are weak. Why this one also maybe John Stuart Mill told, but if you see the any antisocial activities or some murders, maybe the percentage of men is more than women. Life has a certain flavor for those who have fought and risked all that the sheltered and the protected can never experience. Sheltered and the protected can never experience. So in education, we are always telling experiential education, personalized education based on your previous knowledge and past experience. So life always better come away from the comfort zone. But in general, I'm always telling in our culture, we motivated to be in a comfortable zone only. Men might as well as impression as excluded from the means of earning their bread. तो एक्चुअली इन हिंदी आल्सो कुछ कान पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है सो इट इज योर ड्यूटी टू गेट समथिंग इट इज योर ड्यूटी टू लूज समथिंग द लिबर्टी ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल must be thus far limited. He must not make himself here a nuisance to other people. So the liberty of the individual must be thus far limited. Sometimes whenever attending programs, the expert they say in India we have more freedom, that's why we are spoiling the environment, we are spoiling rivers, we are so many examples are coming up. It is should be like China, but those Chinese they're expecting life like Indians. So pleasure and freedom from pain are the only things desirable as ends. So pleasure and freedom. So, but it is not easy to get pleasure and freedom easily and quickly. Without pain, it is not possible. But when pain is pain you are doing again and again, then based on, but according to John Stuart Mill, it is the greatest pleasure. Happiness is a zero pain. The duty of man is the same in respect to his own nature as in respect to the nature of all other things, namely not to follow it but to amend it. The duty of a man is the same in respect to his own nature as in respect to the nature of all other things, namely not to follow it but to amend it. Professor Chennai sir mentioned about grass, be just like a grass. The Zen philosophy, there are n number of philosophers also. It is our duty just like follow the natural laws. Unquestionably, it is possible to do without happiness. It is done involuntarily by 19/20th of mankind. We have a right also in various ways to act upon our unfavorable opinion of anyone, not to the oppression of his individuality, but in the exercise of ours. All good things which exist are the fruits of originality. These things are already mentioned under originality, creativity and originality. Originality is the one thing which unoriginal minds cannot feel the use of. So unoriginal, it is very difficult. Those who have original, they can feel it, they can value it. That so few now dare to be eccentric marks the chief danger of the time. Professor Chennai sir given one example of utilitarianism ecocentric, whatever you feel. Suppose if I say like you, maybe whenever in front of a hill, so immediately you can listen also, I like you or I love you. Persons of genius, it is true, are and are always likely to be a small minority. But in order to have them, it is necessary to preserve the soil in which they grow. Sometimes what is maybe in the olden days also history, we know Socrates also great philosopher, given the poison, not only in the Greek philosophy, in Indian philosophy, in our own South Indian philosophy also, so many examples are there. The kings, the rulers, the emperors, they killed the wise and genius people because they are showing a right path. This type of people are very less in the number or percentage. So it is the duty of the soil, or it is our duty to preserve the type of people, for just like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, APJ Abdul Kalam. No one can be a great thinker who does not recognize that as a thinker, it is his first duty to follow his intellect to whatever conclusions it may lead. So whenever you are saying something, it is better to follow by your self-teacher duty to do like this. But saying something in the class and not doing out, it is not good. That's why nowadays many teachers are not respectable, because what it is not wrong what they are telling, actually it is wrong what they are not following. So long as an opinion is strongly rooted in the feelings, it gains rather than loses in stability by having a preponderating weight of argument against it. So long as an opinion is strongly rooted in the feelings, it gains rather than loses in stability. So it is our duty. Sometimes what is happening, we have opinion. By seeing a person or thing, you will get some type of opinion, positive opinion or negative opinion. Sometimes it is we have free assumptions, free opinion. In all intellectual debates, both sides tend to be correct in what they affirm and wrong in what they deny. Certain things during debates also we can accept the others what they're telling. All actions is for the sake of some end and rules of action, it seems natural to suppose, must take their whole character and color from the end to which they are subservient. So very nicely, all actions is for the sake of some end. That is true. To do something, all actions. I have, this one is very nice. I really liked it. I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting, already we mentioned, limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. So whatever it is getting, it is not possible. That's why I taken the second time also to mention at the end of the presentation. Those who only are happy who have their minds fixed on some object other than their own happiness, on the happiness of others, on the improvement of mankind, even on some art or pursuit followed not as a means but as itself an ideal end. Aiming thus at something else, they find happiness by the way. Mahatma Gandhi means and ends also the same thing. Those who only are happy who have their minds fixed on some object other than their own happiness. So these are all n number of great thoughts and quotes of John Stuart Mill under utilitarianism. So only one conclusion. These are all myself and Dr. Swatasini Madams. Only one conclusion from my side. Whatever Professor Chennai sir mentioned, the right actions leads for happiness. Better to do right things. Automatically, you will get happiness to be. And Professor Chennai sir and Lord Buddhas, the thoughts are also very, very important. Just to decide, Osho also mentioned the same thing. Just be happy and you will be happy. No need to do any bad things or good things. So his philosophy is entirely different, but here John Stuart Mill, that's why the philosophy of John Stuart Mill for a happy and healthy life. Just to do right things, not only doing, even thinking also, always better. The thoughts are, that's why Professor Chennai sir always mentioning what is a poison, what is a, so whatever you have, your think, thought and action is very important. Now over to Professor Chennai sir.
Congratulations, Amresh sir, for your nice presentation. You said one point. What is that point, Amresh sir? You said
Yes,
one
sir.
point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm
So,
telling.
what is that question, Amresh sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling, sir.
So, people are following conservative. Some what is that language?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just I can show you. I can share the screen exactly to see you by your by yourself, sir. This one, sir. Although it is not true that all conservatives are stupid people, it is true that most stupid people are conservative.
So here, conservatives means a person who have no awareness, a person who has no outlook what is right and what is wrong, just clinging on a particular thing. They are very dogmatic, they are clinging, they have no freedom to see what is right and what is wrong, they have no flexibility, they have no outlook to adapt to new changes, they have no understanding what is true and what is false. They have no awareness about the constant moments of life. They are one way. Conservatives means they are not intelligent. They are not persons of awareness. They are not moving with the facts moment to moment. They have no wisdom. That's why the conservatives are stupid means the stupid is one. He has no Wisdom means he has no capacity of what is right and what is wrong. He has no discriminative ability. He has no capacity to see truth. So that's why a person who has no awareness relating with goodness and badness, we may treat, according to John Stuart Mill also, conservatives means, see here you see a water with stock, a stagnant water is there, a Himalayas river water is there. In the Himalayas river water, we find very fresh, very move, very pleasant. We find a different type of things in the fresher water. In the stagnant water, we find it differently. In the same manner, in the conservatives, we don't find freshness, happiness, understanding, awareness, liveliness relating with everything. That's why here Stuart Mill is calling stupid, means they are not flexible to know new things, fresh things. They are not in a position to see truth. Amresh sir, I have given something. Do you have got any clarity?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But only one thing coming to my mind, even I can allow the participants. We have the Conservative Party in UK, sir, United Kingdom.
That is a different. That is means Conservative Party means here Labour Party, and Conservative Party means a party relating with protection of Britain history, a party protection of the culture and the civilization of the Britain, a party gives respect for the ancestors, a party who protects the democratic ideals of kingdom and the people. That is a one sense. That is a one tradition, that is a first, that is a good for them. But here the conservative is relating with not flexible, not free, not open-minded, not having flexibility to see what is good and what is bad. That is the sense, Amresh sir, here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very nicely explained. Now, Hema madam, are you there? Professor Chennai sir, want to listen from you and others?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please,
Good
please,
evening,
please.
Yes, sir.
Very well explained,
Please.
sir, about the conservative stupid people are conservative, because these people are those who are the they are averse to change, and they are not interested to accept the change in the world, whatever
Yes.
changes. They are such kind of traditional who are following some traditional values. Those people never want to change, sir. They are very consistent. They want, and they want to follow their own words. We have to listen to them. So that is what Stuart has called them as stupid people, because they don't want to move along with the change in the society, sir. మార్పుని వాళ్ళు కోరుకోరు, అందుకని Stuart has said that this is not they are called stupid people, sir. Very well explained, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening me. Well, enlightening all of us with Stuart and his philosophy, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Actually,
sir,
a person who is a free is a open-minded free person. A person who is not free, a person who is not careful to watch what is good and what is bad, a person who is not open to know many things, then he may be a stupid person or a dogmatic person, a clinging person. That's why here John Stuart Mill is telling, be open, don't cling to anything. See anything with a maintenance of space. So if you are doing bad things, you are responsible for your unhappiness.
yes.
If you are doing good things, you are responsible for your happiness. So your happiness comes from your good actions. Your unhappiness comes from your bad actions. You are doing good actions and bad actions. So if you have awareness, you may not do bad actions. If you have a awareness, you do always good actions. So here awareness means intuition, intelligence, soul, awareness, insight. Use your awareness of doing anything while you are expressing your thoughts, expressing your words, expressing your actions. Be careful while you are moving in the darkness, you are using light. In the same manner, while you are talking, doing, acting, anything, be watchful, be careful, see exactly what it is. That is a light, that is a wisdom, that is a enlightenment. Use always awareness, then you do good things, you will get happiness. So this sense we find in the John Stuart Mill philosophy relating with the utilitarianism. Amareswar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
So you have shared something in the question form. We
Yes,
have
sir.
given. Hema
Yes,
garu.
sir. Very
Yes,
well
good.
explained, sir. It is what you mean is a sensory experience, sir. We have to feel with the sense what is right and what is bad with our eyes, with our ears, with our thought process and all these things, sir. Very well explained, sir. Thank you so much.
So, Amaresh sir, here
Sir.
I will tell. So, Hemagar is said one beautiful expression, that is. So here, our great philosopher Aristotle said. So he said, while the desire is dominating on awareness, then in the life you may face unpleasant environment, unpleasant things, dangerous things in the life. So here the desire is relating with the mind, awareness is relating with the soul. The soul should rule the body, mind, soul, and everything. So the soul has an intelligence, awareness. So our sense organs, eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin, it may expect many things, but you are not using your awareness relating with the soul, you may do harmful things. Here those who are committing crimes, murders, suicides, dacoity, harmful, corruption, they are a people of not having awareness relating with actions. Those who are killing their wives, those who are killing their husbands, the wives and husbands have no awareness. They are doing their activities with unconscious manner, without having any awareness. So here, awareness is a light. For example, if you are going in the darkness with a light, you have seen a poisonous cobra. So seeing that cobra and escaping that cobra is immediate. In the same manner, if you have awareness relating with any activity, that activity creates extraordinary intelligence to avoid bad thing. That's why here John Stuart Mill also telling, you have a sensual experiences, you have knowledge and everything, be careful, use our awareness, then only you will get happiness. If you are not using your awareness, always you will get unhappiness. So your great asset and key for your happiness is your awareness. Amreswar. Amaresh sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. With your permission, may I go for vote of thanks and very
Please.
nicely explained, sir. It is understandable
so
for all.
Our Hema garu asked a question and I added something, and you asked something and we added, because this is a nice occasion, because John Stuart Mill is a great philosopher. We find the total essence of relating with the action of Indian philosophy, we find in the John Stuart Mill. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Theory of karma theory. True, sir. Many things Western philosophers they took from our.
Amaresh sir. So
sir.
we have no nationalistic barriers. We are thinking entire humanity is one. All people relating with the country are ours, world are ours. We are thinking like that. We have sensed the great philosophical essence of John Stuart Mill is relating with the content of Indian philosophy. So nobody has said about the greatness of John Stuart Mill relating with Indian philosophy. So we are moving outward and inward. We are seeing greatness in every philosopher of the world. That's why we are sharing. Amaresh sir, please move.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Really, we
Please
are
move.
very fortunate, sir, for your innovative ideas and philosophical approach. So we are really grateful to Professor Chennai, sir, for extraordinary keynote address and interacting with our participants. In general, whenever philosopher is teaching in the class, the students are always feel unhappy and unpleasant because the way of teaching is different. But here, Professor Chennai sir making every concept in their in real life by making real life examples and giving real life examples. Really, it is very easy to understand, sir. That's why our participants are enjoying.
Amresh sir, here people are thinking the John Stuart of Mill utilitarianism is, they are thinking that the meaning is use and throw, self-centeredness. So they are thinking that negative use of people, negative use of things, but that is not true relating with utilitarianism. It is a relating with the good actions and bad actions. Good actions lead to happiness, bad actions lead to unhappiness. That is the sense. Here, utilitarianism means in the personal level, centeredness, use and throw. That is not the sense relating with utilitarianism because I am using this person, I am using this thing. This is not the sense relating with utilitarianism. Amresh sir, so have you understood something,
Yes, sir.
Amresh
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rightly
so
understood.
what you say this?
No, exactly. This
It is
central point of John Stuart Mill is the same, sir. Right actions leads to happiness and wrong actions leads to reverse happiness, means unhappiness. So it is our duty to be happy while doing right actions. Satkarma.
Yes.
So our Hindu
Yes.
righteousness, Satkarma, Dharma, really wonderful, sir. If you follow the Indian philosophy right way, there is no need of anything. Everything is available. Maybe Vasudaika Kutumbakam Bhavana, Dharmo Rakshiti Rakshata, simple way. And
Yes.
Mahatma Gandhi also taken away the to whole globe peace and non-violence. Even the many other great philosophers, the passions also very important. It is better to Buddhism also telling the same thing. Whatever supposed to happen to you, it will happen. Just wait, be patient, do your duty. So these are all central concepts. By getting these ideas only, I myself and Dr. Srotasani madam, we published that one Pramato one well-being model, sir, and the 5 L's model of education, like, love, learn, live, and live. So whenever you are liking something, loving something, it always gives pleasure. It leads to pleasure. So if you have a pleasurable mind while doing good things, so really we are grateful to you, sir, for showing the right direction for our participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
all
sir.
the best.
So we are really grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Prabhasankar Shukla, sir. Sir is very busy. Day after tomorrow on Tuesday, I think, tomorrow Sunday. On Tuesday, 22nd, NEHU is going to organize Asian Music Fest. So 40 artists from different countries are going to visit NEHU. So even though sir is always keep in touch with me and encouraging me, we are really grateful to Professor Prabhasankar Shukla sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raja Reddy sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Venkateswara University, Dr. Nagarajasri madam, Dr. Vijay Bhaskar sir for uploading our flyers at Sri Venkateswara University website, Professor Mitali Kaur ma'am, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Bartakur sir, Dr. Satosini Gagoi madam from Moran College for their help and cooperation, Professor Mipun sir, ISTD Chairman, Shillong Chapter, Professor Dikshit sir, Director IQAC, NEHU Shillong, and noble participants, those who are interacted with Professor Chennai sir, Professor Venkatrao sir, Manapalli, Professor and Dr. Eddanapudi madam and Pavan sir and Somaraju sir and others. We are always encouraging to interact with Professor Chennai sir to get more and more. Thank you very much. See you next Friday. Now, as usual, national anthem. Immediately, I will share the feedback form. You will get your certificate.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind, thank you. Please submit your feedback form. You will get your certificate immediately after submitting. Please check your email. Please, YouTube viewers, you can submit your feedback form. Request to the participants, if possible, please join little early because we are postponing 10 minutes to start the program. If possible, please try to join at the early instead of joining later at the end. Because it is live, anyone can see how many participants are in the beginning, how many are in the middle, how many are at the end. So for academic audit purpose, sometimes there are the department and university, they're checking everything. Please try to, this is a request only, not anything.